Hello and welcome to the Stamp Camp. I'm Glenda Calkins, your independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And tonight I have an oldie but a goodie tip and technique for Tuesday's tips and techniques. Making sure that I am live. It looks like, yes, I am good to go. All right, so I posted on my blog today that I was doing a technique that was an oldie but a goodie, and I had a little thing out there. Could you guess what the technique was? I was out at the cottage, so I had very limited supplies, and since it is Tuesday and I always go live on Tuesday with Tuesday's tips and techniques, I was scrambling around the cottage trying to come up with a technique that I could do. So I went into my kitchen and pulled out something that you probably all have in your kitchen, and that is wax paper. So tonight I am going to show you the wax paper technique. So let's switch the camera. I am using the Christmas Gleaming, and you're probably wondering, why am I using a stamp set that was in the holiday catalog, the holiday mini catalog last year? Well, Stampin' Up! Is bringing it back, and you will find it in the new mini catalog that is going to be live on August 4th. So on August 4th, if you missed out on this last year, you can get this stamp set, and it has coordinating punches, the ornament punch for this size and this size. So there's two punches with it. And if you recall that gorgeous printed paper from last year, that is in that mini as well. It was a big favorite of everybody, and I'm happy they brought it back. So I'm going to show you the card. This is the card that I did with my limited supplies. I only had 5 ink colors at the cottage. I had the 5 ink colors, and I had the in color paper, and I had the flowers for every season paper with this stamp set. So again, I pulled out my wax paper, and I'm going to show you how to do that technique. This is the wax paper resist technique. So let me turn my iron on, because you are going to need an iron. And I actually took my iron from the cottage. I had to come home because my paper pumpkin was in the mail, and I had to get my card done for the design team that I'm on. So I had to run home and do my paper pumpkin, and I took my supplies back home, and then I took the iron that I used at the cottage home, just in case my iron here wouldn't work. I don't know. Any iron should work fine. But let's get started on that technique. So again, I said you need a piece of wax paper. So I just cut it down. It's bigger than the cardstock that I need, and I have 2 pieces of the thin Whisper White cardstock, and then I have 2 pieces of just regular copy paper from my copy machine. And the first thing you're going to do is take that wax paper and you're going to crumple it up. I love this stamp set and the punches as well. I'm so happy they are bringing it back. So, like I said, this is an oldie but a goodie technique. Some of you, maybe this is the first time you've seen it, and others, maybe you've seen this before. So I'm going to take my wax paper. I'm going to put copy paper down. I'm going to put one of the pieces of cardstock down. I'm going to put my crumpled up wax paper over the top, the other piece of Whisper White cardstock, and then my copy paper over the top. Now my iron should be hot enough, and we're going to iron that. So you want to make sure that you go over the whole piece, and you can see it as we're going over. You can see the square, so I know I've gone over it very well. I'm just going to go, what we're doing is we're melting that wax paper into the cardstock. Now I'm going to shut my iron off. It's a very old iron, and at the cottage it's kind of started smoking, so I better shut it off. And then we have our 2 pieces here. So you can get 2 cards out of this technique. Now at the cottage, what I did, because I didn't have any brayer I did have a sponge piece, so I did sponge my piece, but on my card to get this very intense dark background, this is what I did. I rubbed my cardstock with the ink pad. See how cool that is? Look at that. You can pounce, you can rub, and you can do it as much as you want to get the color that you desire. I was thinking I had paper towel. I do. Because what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take the paper towel and go over that and rub off that excess ink. You can see it picks up just a little bit. But isn't that a cool? And then I thought since I'm home, I would do the brayer so you can see how you can do it with the brayer as well. I'm going to have to get this really inked up. And we're going to come across. It's probably going to be a little bit softer. Yep. But the more you brayer on, you know, the darker it'll be. And you can see it. It's way more vibrant on the direct ink pad, direct to the cardstock. But you can see it coming through. So I guess it's whatever you like. If you like a lighter background, or if you like that nice, vibrant, dark green background, whatever you like. The sponge, I think, is just a little less messy, maybe. But you can see how you're going to get that nice popping of the wax paper resist there. And you can see why you want to crumple up that wax paper, because that's giving you all that different texture. So I'm going to go with the dark again just because I love the look of that dark. Make sure I don't have inky fingers because it's a white cardstock. So I took a piece of the Flowers for Every Season Designer Series paper, and I put that to the top. So we're just going to attach that. I've been using this paper pack quite a bit lately. I think my roller here is just about out. So I'm going to just match that up just like that. Then on my sample, I took a piece of jade, but this time I thought I would take a piece of the cinnamon cider and bring that across. Make sure that looks straight. And then that is going to go on another piece of cinnamon cider cardstock. So it's just a fun and different technique. Right, supplies right from your kitchen. My card is Whisper White. Fold that in half. Grab my bone folder. We're going to attach this to our card front. That's the right way. Just like that. I took the ovals dies and I die cut a piece of the Just Jade and then used the bigger oval scallop with the cinnamon cider. I don't own an iron anymore. Yeah, like I said, my iron at the cottage is probably an antique because I don't even know why I had an iron at the cottage because I don't think I iron at the cottage ever. But apparently I must have took it there at one point. Maybe when we lived there. Before we moved into this house, we did live at our cottage for a while while this house was being built. So that's been a really long time. But that's possible. So I've layered that on there. Then I went ahead and stamped the ornament from our bright Christmas gleaming bundle here. And I didn't have the punch at the cottage, so I just hand cut that out. And I didn't have any blends or markers or anything, so I stamped it on the Just Jade and then the cinnamon, and I hand cut that out. And I'm gonna just attach my little berries here. So you'll be surprised what you can do with limited supplies that you just have laying around. And we're going to paper piece that just like that. We're going to put some dimensionals on the back side of our ornament. And we're going to put that right like that. Now, why am I doing a Christmas card? Well, you may have noticed on my blog there is a PDF file that is called Christmas in July. And to get that PDF file, you need to place a minimum $25 order, and you will get the PDF file. For all the Christmas in July cards in that PDF file, those stamp sets are in the annual catalog right now. So you don't have to worry about waiting for the mini to come out, because they are in that new catalog. Then I took the Merry Christmas, same stamp set, stamped it, hand cut that out. Pop that up right across the bottom here, just like that. I might put a little glue to, or is that, oh, I got a dimensional there. That's why that's popped up. But there you have it. That is your technique for tonight. I had a couple guesses today. They said saran wrap, and I said, nope, not saran wrap, wax paper. So that is the wax paper resist technique. I hope that you enjoyed this little technique, and if you do have an iron, grab that iron and start using it on your cards instead of your clothes. Who irons clothes anymore? Right? So that is it for tonight. You can visit my blog for all the details, and this is the hostess code for the Christmas in July PDF file. And if you want the customer appreciation file with that, it is a $65 minimum order. And you'll find all the details on my blog, www.thestampcamp.com. That is it for tonight. Thanks for stopping by.